Well, Istanbul, what do you want to say?
Oh, it's a goal from Milan! Hernan Crespo gets the second goal for the Italians, and he's chipped to the right-hand side of Jerzy Dudek. And that could be the end of the Champions League final as Hernan Crespo scores his second header or goal. Oh, he's got it! And the captain has delivered a blow to AC Milan. A man to Smicer. Smicer is in! No! It's Xabi Alonso for 3-3. It's saved, and Alonso follows it in! Scored the winner 2 years ago. He's up against Dudek. Will he hand Liverpool the European Cup?
So it's been 20 years since Liverpool have been in a European Cup final.
No one at the beginning of that campaign was saying Liverpool will win the European Cup.
We all know what happened against Olympiacos.
Lovely cushioned header. But Gerrard! You beauty!
Bayer Leverkusen is beatable. Juventus, oh my God, whatever happens, it'll be great.
And there is Hyypia! Liverpool has scored, Sami Hyypia!
This goal was also special that I didn't start the game for a month before that, and then after 10 minutes I managed to score as well. So
A volley?
yeah, left foot volley. So it's
So we'd beaten Olympiacos, Leverkusen, Juventus, and then Chelsea.
I was at Anfield an hour before the game, and he was rocking, and he never stopped rocking. There was a hunger for winning something big, a hunger to beat Chelsea, the money club, a hunger to leave Jose Mourinho behind. When he came on, while the team was warming up, realized that the electricity there was magic, that something special was happening, that the players were being affected by it. So walked back into the changing room and had a blackboard, and he put 33 and stood by the blackboard, and everybody passed by, getting ready for the game, and silence was made. He says, "Do you know what this is?" Jose says, "This is the point difference with Liverpool in the league. So you should not be scared."
The noise after that goal was just out of this world. Never heard anything like it.
Penalty, Luis Garcia is in there. Has that crossed the line? The Liverpool fans think it has goal. What a start by Liverpool.
Contentious nature of the semi-final, but again the romance of it all. It just fed into the narrative.
For me, it crossed the line, absolutely. I think the funny thing is, what a lot of people forget is, if for any reason it would have been disallowed, their keeper was off. So, they'd have had 10 men against 45,000 plus 11 players on the pitch. So I think it would still have gone our way. But yeah, it absolutely crossed the line. Checking into the hotel and just seeing fans outside, and you could just see the mood was building instantly. There was no hanging around.
The fans wanted to win it quite clearly. They weren't there just for a party, even though the party was great. Taksim Square was conquered quite clearly, but with a really good atmosphere. Remember that.
Those games were watched by massive television audiences.
Basically, ITV owned the Champions League. That was it. So all the matches were free to air, and they felt like national occasions. Regardless of whether or not you supported Liverpool or Manchester United, which were the two big draws really for ITV's perspective.
On the day itself, we ended up in a park, and Liverpool fans everywhere. Couldn't even tell you the name of the park. We did Taksim Square, all of that, and. One of my mates said, I've just had a text from somebody saying, from the Radio Mayor's side, has said that it's going to be chaotic getting to the ground, so you better get in there early.
The game was not played in Istanbul. It was nowhere near Istanbul. And anybody who went remembers that.
The traffic is just absolutely jammed. Everybody is pouring out of taxis and buses at that point, and we have to climb this hill because it's almost, it was almost in a crater, the stadium.
AC Milan were superior. Again, the individuals were much better than the ones that Liverpool could offer. You could say, you know, it was great to get to here, but the feeling I got, and I guess by talking to players and to the coaching staff, it also got transmitted to them, is that the fans wanted to win it quite clearly. They weren't there just for a party.
Free kick which Andrea Pirlo will take, and it's volleyed, and it's in! A goal in 50 seconds from Milan. Here's Hernan Crespo, 2-0. Wonderful ball in edge of the Liverpool penalty area, and he's chipped to the right-hand side of Jerzy Dudek, and that could be the end of the Champions League final.
I don't really know what I was thinking. I think the first half was so bad from us that they scored their goals pretty well. That they've studied how we play, and they the first goal was a set piece. So they've planned what they're gonna do, and they did it. So, and 2 goals I think was a counter attack. So. It was very sad after the first half, but when we went to the dressing room, I think, it was so silent.
So at halftime, maybe we were feeling down. We were disappointed.
Rafa was actually quite calm when he was talking to us. That some of the managers would have shouted like the lungs off to the team that were when the team performs that way, like we did in the first half. But he was quite calm. And
Benitez did a great job at the halftime. I think he changed the team.
Jimmy Traore was coming off. Steve Finnan then had a bit of a rant because he was brought off. Diddy was sent out to warm up and didn't really know any of what was happening.
By the way, Rafa, I've been told that you had at some point 9 players in the board. And I said, yeah, you know what? And then I started putting more players, and I ended up with 12, with Finnan being injured and having to be replaced with Traore in the shower, having to be kitted again, and Finnan being held by the physio because he wanted to go back into the pitch. But Rafa didn't want that a player will get injured in the minute 50 and then be affected by it. Preferred to take matters in his own hand at that point.
We played different shape, and we put Didi Hamann playing on Kaká, and suddenly we starting to play well.
he said that we need to give the fans something to cheer about.
I never forget when we came out of the dressing room, and we had the support from the people around. Like they, we were 3-0 down, and the supporters, they were starting to sing "You Never Walk Alone," and it was something like, wow, they still believing in us or something. They give something to us, some cheer, let's say. And it was. I think to me that was that moment, that magic moment, that inspiring us that we can still turn the game around, and I will never forget that.
That we actually could hear the crowd singing "You'll Never Walk Alone." So probably that gave us the glimmer of hope, or we decided that we give something back to the fans, that they are supporting us, and many of you guys have travelled a long way to come to support us. So
second half, we turn around the things.
Charged down by Cafu.
Stevie G scored his header.
In towards Gerrard! Hello! Here we go! Steven Gerrard puts a grain of doubt in the back of Milan minds.
When I said hello, did I foresee 2 more goals in the next 6 minutes? No, I didn't.
The iconic image of Gerrard gesturing to the crowd, waving his arms, well, that just hit the stands massively, and everybody responded to that.
I scored. When I scored, it was 3-2. That it's like, you know, it's momentum for us, and we're going to score third one.
How Gattuso felt that when the penalty was given, it's like, you know, it's a divine intervention. He thought, we're not going to win this now. It's just turning against us. God is giving them the chance to win this. This is what he thought on the pitch.
Mission impossible is accomplished. Liverpool were 3-0 down 5 minutes ago. And now look at that scoreline.
Scored 3 goals against a big side of AC Milan in 6 minutes. It was something special. It was a little bit miracle.
6 minutes, that's all it takes, 6 minutes.
We came back from 3-0 down. You know, we showed our Liverpool's character, let's say, that we always fight to the end, we never give up, and we are having strong team bonding, let's say. We support each other, especially in the difficulties, and yeah, it was an amazing moment, you know.
I mean, you can't, not the greatest coach in the world can't concoct a scenario where from nowhere Liverpool scored 3 times inside 7 minutes.
And so at that point, though, for me, you know, we've done ourselves justice. You know, they should never ever have got to penalties. Really, they should have walked away with their game.
It was fight until the end. You know, extra time they were going hard on us. They didn't want to go into the penalties. AC Milan players, they knew they have a chance to beat us maybe. And Jerzy Dudek made a fantastic save against Shevchenko.
Serginho with a great cross. Thomason! Oh, what a save! What a save from Shevchenko by Jerzy Dudek.
I was right in line with it. I can remember that like it was yesterday.
Amazing moment, you know. I had my lucky 5 minutes.
I mean, it happened so fast, but how did you get to the second one, you know?
I'm not a religious person at all, but there did seem to be feeling that Liverpool's name was somehow on the trophy.
You're thinking, oh, maybe the gods are kind of smiling on us here. Because Shevchenko walked away, he couldn't believe it.
When he made this save, I said, oh, the cup will be ours.
I remember their keeper, I think he was just standing there with his arms out, and he was huge. He looked huge in the goal. Never thought, yeah, anyone could get a ball past that. Dudek looked lighter. He was very relaxed, and yeah, he was doing the move. I don't remember whether anyone commented upon it at the time, but we could see it clearly. I mean, there was something quite funny about it in some ways, you know. And obviously, there is that direct lineage back to Grobbelaar doing the same things.
Oh, it's a terrible penalty. A man came on, did well as the sub. Does very well with the penalty too. 1-0 Liverpool. Dudek with a fantastic save!
On penalties, it's sometimes lottery, but Jerzy again did great job, and AC Milan players missed 3.
That will do nicely. Thomason keeps Milan going, just about. Risa, no, Dida, big save, big save. That squares it up at 2 each, but Liverpool do have a penalty in hand. It's Smicer to take it. It's a good one too.
I scored 1. And I knew if Shevchenko scores, then Stevie G hopefully will score his penalty, but didn't need it.
Liverpool put in their 5th penalty, they will be champions. Or if Shevchenko fails with this.
As Shevchenko walked forward, I had this voice scream in my head, he doesn't want to be here. He doesn't want to take this penalty. And he scored in shootout, scored decisively in shootout 2 years earlier at Old Trafford. So it wasn't, I had all that information. You know, this is one of the most famous players in the world, but it was almost the moment we knew that Liverpool had finally worn Milan down that night, that Milan was shaking their heads thinking, we're never going to be these guys. And Shevchenko walked forward and he just didn't look as if he wanted to be there.
Shevchenko has to score.
Shevchenko missed his penalty and we won the cup.
It was a weak penalty and a glorious moment.
But at the moment that goal went in, it was riotous. I mean, there was everything. You named the emotion, disbelief. Everybody around, all the people from behind me kind of almost collapsed forward. People just hugging, dancing, singing.
Yeah, great feeling. I think all the professional players dream about winning the Champions League at least once in their career. So, and then we realized that we have won it because I think in 2001 in Alaves when it was a golden goal, I think half of the team didn't realize that we won it actually there.
And I remember when the match was won in Istanbul in the penalty shootout, I was standing right next to the Liverpool dugout effectively, and Benitez within seconds turned round to hug somebody, anybody. It didn't matter who it was, and it happened to be me. And I almost got my ribs crushed by Rafa Benitez in that moment, where it all came right for him. So I've got really very, very powerful memories of that whole adventure, because that's what it was. It was no one at the beginning of that campaign was saying Liverpool will win the European Cup. No one was saying that, and at half time against Milan, no one was even thinking it.
After you see the people crying, and you think, why they crying? They should be smiling, and because of this emotion.
Everybody in the press area were celebrating what we knew straight away was a historic moment.
To be honest, the people love to talk about this everywhere I'm in the world, whatever, Asia, United States, they still remember that. They want to know everything about this final. Yeah, that was amazing for us. We came back from 3-0 down. We showed our Liverpool's character, let's say.
Strange things happened after the final. One, Paco Yestalan precisely was telling me, I'm empty. I don't feel anything. It's like, I know it's important. I know everybody's happy. I can see that. I've got nothing in me. And it was the first time, but not the last time I heard this.
I mean, I was exhausted after that game. And funny enough, when we came away, I mean, obviously there were celebrations, but I have to say, I mean, I was so tired. And looking back, I mean, the energy we as fans, besides getting there, but just in the ground, expended in that game, I think a lot of people felt the same.
Ended up in a circle in the hotel with Xabi Alonso and his family, and he was also calm. I mean, the contrast between what was happening in the stadium and on the way to the hotel and inside the hotel was so dramatic. That also was a first for me. Just people talking normally about a game that had happened, and he was like, no, but this is history. What are you talking about? You should all be like going mental, like Jamie Carragher was going. Jamie Carragher and all his cousins. That was the code for entering that hotel. If you said, I'm a Jamie Carragher cousin, you were allowed in. And sometimes Jamie had to come in. Yeah, he's my cousin. Bring him in. So there was that. And Steven Gerrard taking the cup with him to his bedroom.
And you actually, at that time, you don't realize what you've done. After many years, let's say, when you finish your football career, you start to realizing that you did something special, because after 15 years when people still talking about this final, it means that was something amazing. And we're not talking only about Liverpool supporters, the old people, the football lovers, they talk about this game.
I scored a practically winning penalty. My last kick for Liverpool, winning penalty in the Champions League final. What do you want more? For me, it was special, and that's why I remember if someone remind me the World Istanbul 2005. Of course, big win for Liverpool, for our team, but big win for myself as well.
We are in the history books of winning it, and I think many of the football fans, not Liverpool or AC Milan fans, they will remember that final, because it was a crazy final that I wouldn't think that there will be a final like that again.
A few years after, I went to the Champions League final as a supporter with my son in Madrid when we play against Tottenham, and I was almost crying by myself, with this emotion. I saw the players, dancing on the floor, on the pitch, cheering the joy with the supporters, and I was having my those boosts, and I was looking at my son, he was crying, and I said, yeah, I know now why the people crying in such a great moments.
But it is a romantic story, but in 2005 it was a bit of a ragtag team, and it was an underdog victory.
I don't think, I think that night showed me that people always talk about that you have to believe in something that to happen. But that night showed that I don't think anyone believed when we came out in the second half that we would come back and win it. So that was, if you put the effort in, even you don't believe in something to happen, just put the effort in and it can happen.
Merseyside and Liverpool are the kings of Europe, back at the top of the European table.